What happens when doing what you love turns into a nightmare? For Manchester United defender Harry Maguire, football, his passion, his livelihood, became a cycle of mistakes, ridicule, and unrelenting pressure. Once an integral part of United's backline, Maguire's career took a downward spiral where every misstep seemed to cost his team dearly. Errors leading to goals and lost points became a recurring theme, and the weight of expectation soon turned into a burden that nearly broke him. Between 2021 and 2023, Maguire found himself at the center of criticism for defensive lapses that gifted opponents goals. Each mistake magnified under the glare of Old Trafford, each error dissected by pundits, mocked by fans, and replayed endlessly online. What should have been ordinary off days snowballed into a narrative that Maguire had become a liability. As the mistakes piled up, so did the consequences. He was booed by his own fans, jeered even during England duty, and mocked relentlessly on social media. The ridicule reached bizarre extremes. Politicians in African parliaments even used his name as shorthand for failure.
When even the opponents fail to score, Maguire will score for them.
For a footballer at the highest level, it was humiliation on a global stage. Eventually, the weight of criticism translated into action. In 2023, manager Erik ten Hag stripped Maguire of the captaincy, citing the need for a new leader. The decision symbolized how far his stock had fallen at the club. Around the same time, things took an even darker turn. Maguire and his family received bomb and death threats at their home, an extreme and frightening escalation that showed how far some fans were willing to cross the line. The atmosphere turned poisonous. During a preseason match against Crystal Palace, Maguire was booed every time he touched the ball, even though he was playing well. For many, it was the breaking point. Fans began to realize the criticism was no longer rooted in genuine disappointment, but in malice. Slowly, a counter-movement of supporters began to stand by him, calling out the unfair treatment. On the pitch, Maguire's situation worsened. He was relegated to the bench, making only a handful of starts as new defenders took his place. Pundits openly declared his Manchester United career finished, urging him to leave for the good of his reputation.
Well, for him to get back to where he wants to be, it's not at Manchester United. Let's be honest, it's not going to be there. He's just had the captain's armband taken off him. He knows he's not going to play in front of Lisandro Martinez, Rafael Varane, Lindelof. I think now is the time you have to leave.
Transfer rumors swirled, but Maguire made a bold choice. He stayed. He refused to run from the challenge, determined instead to fight for his place and prove his worth again. Looking back, that decision marked the turning point. Given opportunities late in 2023, Maguire quietly rebuilt his form. He focused on the basics, positioning, aerial duels, leadership at the back, and gradually reminded everyone why United once invested £80 million in him. In November 2023, his performances were so solid that he won the Premier League Player of the Month award, silencing critics who said his time was up. By the 2024-25 season, Maguire was no longer a punchline. He was decisive. Against Ipswich Town, he scored a vital header in a 3-2 win, rescuing his team while they played most of the second half with 10 men. In Europe, he delivered one of the most emotional moments of his career, a stoppage-time winner in extra time against Lyon in the Europa League quarter-finals, sending Old Trafford into raptures. Game by game, he re-earned the respect of his teammates, his manager, and the supporters. What once looked like the end of his Manchester United career transformed into a story of resilience and redemption. Today, Harry Maguire stands not just as a defender, but as a symbol of perseverance. Once jeered and mocked, he is now cheered and admired. His resilience has won him a new wave of fans who see his journey as proof of character. The turnaround is so remarkable that during United's 2025 preseason tour, Maguire's shirt was the first to sell out, an unthinkable reality just 2 years earlier.